So hi Kathy, welcome to our continuing discussion series about the Accenture technology vision for 2018 and the five major trends that make up that technology vision. So today I wanted to chat with you about the first trend, citizen AI or artificial intelligence, which for me, in reading the trend and interpreting it, means something about how do we raise an AI to be a responsible, thoughtful colleague, co-worker, if you will, in the new world of these smart, intelligent machines. You know, given your background in citizen services, and you've looked at this from several angles, can you tell me what your perspective is on that and how you see agencies approaching AI?
Yeah, sure. I love this trend. I think the idea of thinking of AI as a corporate citizen or as a citizen within an organization that works alongside humans is fascinating. I think so often we think of technology as a tool that we program, but with AI, you have to teach it. It learns. And so like a kid or like anybody else in an organization, you have to anticipate what role is it going to play, how do you design that role so that you get best use out of it, but also so that it optimizes the roles and the talents of the people who collaborate with it.
So there's a big workforce component here. Now, if I'm going to have my AI buddy next to me that helps me do my job, you know, what does that mean for me? How do I divvy up my time, or get assigned tasks to my AI assistant? Will everyone have an AI assistant, or how do you approach that from the workforce?
Well, so first of all, I think most executives think there will be pervasive use of AI assistants in the workforce, and it depends a little bit on what you're trying to do. So if you're in a customer service environment, for example, an AI tool can be a very valuable assistant to be able to automatically identify and kind of deflect calls for self-service that have routine information, like where is the location of my nearest service center?
Okay, yeah.
Or where would I find the following information? And that would free up people to be able to deal with more complex cases or more complex calls that require human intervention.
Got it.
Similarly, if what you're looking to do is bring efficiency into, say, a case management or a claims processing environment, an AI assistant could be used to ingest all the forms instead of having to manually enter reams of data.
That sounds really helpful.
Yeah, because it not only relieves tedium, but it also reduces manual data entries.
Gotcha.
So that improves accuracy, which means that the people can be used to both review data for quality and also, again, deal with more complex tasks. So one of the hard questions is, how do you make sure that you minimize bias in data? And I guess I'd ask you, with your technology background, how do you avoid having bias in data in the first place? And how do you keep data as bias-free as possible, or recognize it when you see it?
Yeah, I think there's several approaches to that. The first is making sure you have people who understand data well enough to recognize that portions of your data are missing certain elements that it should have. So your data is not representative of the problems you're going to ask an AI to look at, because you train it only on a subset of the population. Maybe you only include men in the population when you're going to have the AI deal with women and children and other folks, or different gender types even, and different skin colors, racial backgrounds, and ethnicity. And so you want to make sure that your data set that you have the AI learn examples from, or learn the patterns about decisions to be made, includes a balanced set of the data, that you have a statistician or someone who knows that kind of analysis determined to let you know your data set is unbiased. But I also think there's another approach that might mitigate the need to have such a huge data set of balanced data. And that's something we do as humans, where we have multiple people kind of give their perspective and experience, and they debate and come to a conclusion. We all know, I think we all reach better decisions, right, when we work together on a problem with our different points of view. So I see that we're going to have an ensemble approach with AI. So it's not just the AI, but rather several AIs that bring a different training perspective to a problem, that we coach on how to debate each other and come to a nice, diverse conclusion that brings in different sets of opinions based on the data they've been trained on. So I'm hopeful. So Kathy, as we've talked about citizen AI, it sounds like there are a lot of new roles that are going to be important, right? Getting the AI to interact with humans and teaching it to do the right thing. I like the example of teaching our children to be responsible and learn from what we tell them to do. I think there's going to be a new job coming out that's like an AI coach, like someone who reflects and supervises an AI, tells it what it's doing wrong, corrects it, gives it new information to do the right thing. And so we're going to see these kind of new jobs evolving around AIs in addition to having AIs work alongside the humans and make them more effective. Does that sound like something's going to happen?
Yeah, I do. I think that's really exciting because the whole point is that AI should be augmenting humans and adding value. So when you think about that coaching, I think one of the things that's most important is how do you capture that learning and share it? What are some ways in which you think that can best kind of help others as they start to look at adopting AI?
I think it's similarly to the way we train humans. I think this is what we're learning most, is that effective ways to train humans to evaluate whether or not they're adhering to our compliance standards, our mission statements. Just like we make a human take a test to say, do you recognize and follow the requirements of our agency, mission? I think we're going to do the same with AI. And so one of the things I like is I think all that stuff we've had about training humans to work on their job and giving on-the-job training, we can replicate when it comes to AI.
Yeah,
and so the approach used to train an AI in a coaching manner, I think is transferable. And so I think that gets at what you were saying about how do you make sure to replicate that and make it more efficient across multiple AI. So I really like that. All right, well, thank you so much for explaining this to me. I really enjoyed it.
Well, thanks. Love to talk to you.